Okay, I must tell you that China is no longer a unified nation. It has effectively split into two starkly different and isolated societies. One is the privileged world of CCP officials and their families, who enjoy special rights and privileges above the laws. The other is the realm of ordinary citizens, whose livelihood is subject to the whims and decisions of those in the privileged class. The disconnect between these two worlds is marked by staggering disparities, but now these two realities are colliding. The basic right to survive in one group is clashing violently with the privilege of the other one. Just 1 week into the new year, a massive riot erupted in Xi Jinping's home province of Shaanxi. It's the largest public protest since November 2022. Over the past few days, more than 10,000 people clashed with police in Pucheng County near Weinan City in Shaanxi. What set off the civil unrest was the sudden death of a 17-year-old student in a vocational school, followed by the alleged cover up by both the school and the police. Overwhelmed with the grief and anger, Don's family began their fight for justice. So, starting on January the 4th, they displayed banners at the school demanding answers and scattered paper money on the school's rooftop in mourning for their deceased child. The family requested access to campus surveillance footage, but was told the camera was broken. The mother began posting videos on social media, wanting to uncover the truth, but her videos were restricted in traffic or visibility. So the rapid escalation of the public outcry led to a massive gathering of people that you saw in the videos supporting the family's cause. Local authorities deployed large numbers of police to maintain order and arrested the boy's uncle, who was beaten by the police. This sparked even greater outcry and public resistance. Violent clashes broke out between protesters and police, with the crowd retaliating against police suppression using stones and wooden sticks and whatever they could find. At one point, protesters stormed the school building, demanding the uncle's release. China has escalating number of deadly school bullying cases. What sets this case apart is that the perpetrator had a father or a mother. We don't know. It could be both. It could be both parents, right? Who are government officials, and this allowed the school, or this required the school to immediately block information, control key witnesses, destroy relevant evidence, and collude with the police. Please keep in mind that this school was in a county with a population of 700,000. China has 2,844 counties. So there are tens of thousands of officials working for the nearly 3,000 counties. So the parents of the alleged perpetrator, isn't a high-ranking official. He doesn't work for the Zhongnanhai. He's a low-level official. Yet he and his family can be so flagrantly above the law and totally disregard the lives of others. And this is the core issue dividing China. So I say China is no longer a unified nation. It has fractured into two completely different worlds. Depending on who you ask, people from the two societies or two worlds offer vastly different accounts about China's reality. One is the privileged class of CCP officials and their families, whose primary mission is to protect their power and authorities and flaunt their privileged lifestyle. These individuals may reside in China or abroad. They could be living among us. And they waste no time and no opportunity to sing praises and showcase China's great achievements. A land of gleaming skyscrapers, sprawling highways, high-speed rail networks, and riverbanks adorned with marble facades, all built rapidly to impress the world. Haven't we all met such individuals in the West? The other society is composed of ordinary Chinese citizens who bear the cost of this dazzling infrastructure mirage. They work tirelessly with their 996 schedule, 996 hours, which is you work 9 to 9 for 6 days a week. So ordinary Chinese citizens work tirelessly, often having to pool the resources of 2 generations to buy ridiculously expensive real estate, only to find themselves trapped in a system that exploits them. Many are even forced to pay mortgages on homes they bought but will never see. So China is internally divided. On one side is a polished facade of positivity and prosperity enjoyed by those with power. On the other side is the harsh reality endured by ordinary citizens. So the privileged class enjoys great pension, a world-class healthcare for free. Need an organ transplant? No problem. Their access is seamless. When they claim China has achieved free healthcare, they mean it. For their privileged circle, CCP officials dine on premium, meticulously cultivated organic food from their exclusive farms, aka 特供 farms, right? They boast that China's food safety is impeccable because it is for them. They entertain their foreign friends, making them feel privileged too. To the ordinary citizens, they don't have free health care, not a lucrative pension. They must save every penny for everything they need in their older years. They're stuck eating chemical-laden, polluted food across every category. Meat, eggs, dairy, snacks, oil, condiments, you name it. While the elite savor organic produce, the rest of China lives their lives consuming toxic leftovers, which is collectively referred to as the feed for the masses. Decades of consuming these unsafe food have taken a toll on their health. China leads the world in diabetes cases, with many undiagnosed, and also cancer rates. But fear not, the world's most profitable healthcare system is in China. It ensures that ordinary citizens keep contributing to the economy while they suffer. It's a perfect loop, you see. Eat poison, get sick, and pay up. The privileged class profits on the sufferings of the masses. Children of the elite grew up in a cocoon of security, surrounded by an invisible fortress of safety. For them, China is the safest country in the world, as no threat ever breaches their bubble. These children are sent, they attend the best schools, well-guarded elementary and middle schools in China, or they're even sent overseas to study in the best prep schools or colleges like Harvard, Yale, Oxford, only to become leading experts in various fields, further embellishing CCP's narratives with their professional credentials. So to these people, China, I mean, we've seen a lot of them here. Now that these children, the second generation or even third generations of the CCP officials have graduated from Harvard, from Yale with their PhDs and masters. I mean, they took up important jobs or impressive jobs in the West. And these people have become effectively the spokesmen and women of CCP. So to these people, China is the land of prosperity and happiness, the happiest and the most successful country on earth. Of course, they believe that. However, to ordinary people's children, school is a place where you are subject of bullying and even murder if your dad is a nobody. What's more, the true purpose of China's education system is brainwashing. Language, politics, and history classes are designed to glorify the ruling elite while erasing historical accuracy. After decades of indoctrination, ordinary people's children are trained to be loyal, unquestioning, and incapable of independent thinking. The result? Generations of obedient citizens are always ready to serve the privileged class. Despite having the world's most extensive surveillance network, have you ever realized why China faces rampant child abductions and disappearances? Why doesn't the government act? Well, because those children often serve the nation, contributing organs for the privileged. China boasts the largest organ donation and transplant industry in the world. So this latest Puchang case once again demonstrates that schools in China are no longer institutions for teaching and nurturing. They have become shelters for criminals and accomplices in maintaining the regime's interests. Those of us living in normal societies find it difficult to comprehend the CCP's mentality. Often asked why. In so many similar cases, Chinese government would refuse to provide the public with justice, if not complete justice, at least some justice. Why would they want to alienate people only to turn them against the government? Don't they know that it could lead to a more severe situation and large-scale protests? Why doesn't the government address the problem instead of resorting to suppression, which only deepens social conflicts and exacerbates tensions? These are the questions that we all have. Well, the reason or the answer is very simple. Because the Chinese government cannot afford to. There are too many similar cases of injustice, and the amount of grievances and the level of atrocity are too much to address. If they are exposed, it will topple the regime. Think about it. If the officials give in under pressure and grant justice to one person today, then 10,000 people or more, 50,000 people will adopt the same measure by gathering crowds to demand justice. And then people everywhere would want to follow suit, leading to widespread unrest that would spiral out of control, eventually toppling the regime. So the CCP officials know this and they have anticipated this and therefore will only resort to crackdowns to suppress people because they do not have an option. So, in other words, the current CCP governance has entirely entered a vicious cycle of entanglement in which one tiny small element can topple the entire system. So, what that shows us is the wrongdoing of one individual or one minor individual in the privileged class can set off a storm and anger the entire opposite class, and thus triggers the entire CCP's security apparatus to react and to protect that individual. So, as a result, what was initially an individual crime becomes a systemic crime, implicating and endangering the entire system and the entire regime. And this makes the regime very fragile and eventually will be brought down because the clashes between the two worlds are irreconcilable at this point. People will fight for their basic right to survive, period. And this is where China is heading and what the CCP fears. You'll see riots like this erupting more and more in 2025.